What is up, Levs? Happy Friday. So excited to be here with you all. A little midday Friday video. Why the heck not? I wanted to talk to you guys about 8 shocking truths about stylists and salon owners today. So this was on my blog. It went up last week. You may have caught it, you may not have, but I want to review it here with you guys and kind of start the conversation. Katie, so glad to have you here. I sent out a survey last November, I think it was. Something like that, 5 months ago. And I was asking stylists a little bit about their lifestyle, and I kind of got down into it. I was like, how much money do you make? Why did you get into the industry? What are your biggest successes? What are your biggest regrets? And we really got into it, and stylists really opened up and were really honest with me. Salon owners opened up in a way that I didn't even think was possible. Hi, Angie, how are you, friend? And really gave me the dirt, and I loved it. People were very candid about what they love and what they hate, and the results were incredible. Hi, Addie. Kristen, so good to see you. Sean, so glad to have you here. Sean, so happy for everything going on in your world right now. So stoked for you. So I wanted to reveal kind of the 8 most shocking things that came up for me when I was reviewing the survey. So if you haven't read it yet, let's dive in. I'll introduce myself and we'll roll. My name is Britt, and I'm a social media and marketing strategist just for hairstylists. So my goal is to make your life as a stylist a little bit easier, a little bit more organized, help you to spend your time and money in the right places, quit wasting it in the wrong places, so you can grow your clientele the quicker, faster, easier way using today's technology. It's never been easier to grow a clientele. We just have to understand the tools at hand to do so, and I'm here to share some of those things with you today. And as always, if you like what we're talking about, you can tap the screen, give me the Facebook thumbs up or the hearts, and then my favorite part is chatting with you all. So keep the comments rolling even if you're watching this on replay. I love to connect with you all and see how you're feeling about all of these shocking truths. So like I said, the results that I'm sharing with you are part of a survey that I sent out about 5 months ago. And it really is from a mixed crowd. So if you go to my blog, if you go to brittseva.com/blog, I share the actual stats of who responded, but you'll see it's a mix of Gen Xers, baby boomers. We even have some Generation Z, some really young stylists in there. Millennials are in there. So it's a great big picture of representing everybody in the industry. We also have a really great mix of salon owners, commission stylists, booth rental stylists, 1099 stylists, hourly employees. We really have kind of everything. So it's a very well-rounded group. Okay, ready? Shocking truth number 1. Only 9% of stylists and salon owners surveyed are on track to have the $1 million we will all need in order to retire successfully. That makes me so upset. It's just so devastating to see we're still in an industry where retirement is either not on the agenda or not in the forefront of our mind, or something that doesn't even seem attainable. And where does that $1 million statistics come from? It comes from everywhere. But you can see the article I linked to here is from U.S. News, and it says that Americans are expected to need between $600,000 and $2 million to retire successfully in the United States based on today's projection. Now that number is going to change based on how old you are. The younger you are, the more you'll actually need because of inflation, right? So the number will shift and vary. So that number could be as high as $2 million depending on how old you are and the lifestyle you live and all of those kind of things. So if you're not set to have at least $1 million in the bank by the time you retire, you are underprepared. Only 9% of stylists felt that they would hit that place. 91% feel like that is unattainable. That is unacceptable. And it makes me so upset. And I want to read a couple of quotes. There was a few people who said, I don't ever see myself retiring anyway. I love what I do. Got it. I know that you love what you do, but realistically, do you want to be 75 years old working 40 hours a week behind the chair on your feet? It's just not realistic. So I understand that we tell ourselves I love what I'm doing. I'll probably never retire anyway. But at some point, you do want to have that financial security for yourself. Another person said, we are in a pattern, meaning she and her family, we are in a pattern where we save and then spend to have a better future, exclamation point. She was telling me this as if it was a really great strategy. We saved to have our daughter, and now we save to open the salon. We're now working on a house, and then we'll save for retirement. Can you guys see the huge issue there? First of all, the retirement's way on the back burner, and it will never come, right? She'll never get to it. And the other thing is, The magical way that you get to the $1 million mark is through things like compound interest and investing. And the longer you wait to invest your money in a retirement savings account, the less likely it is that you'll ever get to where you need to be. You can look this up. There's tons of public articles, but if you start saving for retirement when you're 21 versus 31, I don't know what the exact figure is, but your odds of actually being able to retire are something like 10 times over. Like, it's crazy what a difference it makes. And that's not to say you can't start saving for retirement at 40 and still get there. Thank you, Carla. But it just goes to show the earlier you start, the more likely you are to get great results. So I always talk about retirement. I know a lot of us are like, yeah, I'll get there. I just can't stress enough how important it is to be there. And the fact that 91% of stylists say that they feel like they'll never be able to retire, it just breaks my heart. Shocking truth number 2, 54% of stylists polled take advantage of free online education resources daily. Yes, over half of our industry has embraced the fact that education is everywhere now. And I've shared this before, but if you feel like you're not making enough money, or you're not growing at the rate that you want to, or you see other stylists around you advancing farther than you are, education is a big, huge part of that. And I know a lot of us make the excuse of, well, I would educate myself, but I don't have the money, or I can't travel, or I don't have the time. But there's a wealth of free online education available to us everywhere. And I shared a few resources in my blog. So if you head to brittseva.com/blog, you can check out the resources that I shared. My Facebook Lives are obviously a great resource. There's YouTube resources. There's podcasts that you can listen to. So much good stuff out there. I think being undereducated, there's just no excuse for it today. So make sure you take advantage. But it really made my heart happy to see that over 50% of stylists surveyed said they take advantage of free online education daily. I loved it. Okay, shocking truth number 3. 67% of stylists polled spent over $1,000 on advanced education in 2016. Awesome, because the vast majority did spend over $1,000. And of those surveyed who said they spent the $1,000, there was a ton who were like, oh, I spent like $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 on education. Hi, Veronica Love. So good to see you. Made me so happy. But also 33% of stylists are not spending at least $1,000 in education. And these are some of the comments that were said too. I'm an educator, so I get free education from my company, smiley face. Or my salon provides free education, so I'm covered. No, neither of those things are accurate. So if the only education you're getting is the free stuff that your salon provides, or the free stuff that your company provides, you are receiving incredibly biased, very limited education. Shelly, so glad to have you here. Very, very limited scope, and you're missing this huge array of education that's happening around you. I've certainly taken branded education. I find it to be fantastic. But knowing what I know now, I can look back and see that I spent years getting education just from one brand. And then when I started looking beyond that brand, it was like, oh shit, look at all the other amazing techniques that are out there, amazing things going on that my brand is just not hopping on board with. So I am missing out. It really does limit your scope on trends, and it limits your networking, and it really limits you on staying up to date on what's happening in this industry. You have to get a little bit broader, and you can't just go with the free stuff that's landing in your lap. Not going to work. Okay, shocking truth number 5. 72% of stylists polled said that they are truly happy with the money they're making now. Okay, so I just have so many issues with this. Okay, first of all, 72% of stylists polled said they're happy with the money they make right now. What planet am I living on where 91% said they'll never be able to retire, and 72% said they're happy with the money they make right now? Yet, how many stylists do you know complaining about they need more money, they need more clients? Definitely more than 28%, right? I'm so confused by that. The other reason I'm confused is because 62% of stylists, this is shocking truth number 6, 62% of stylists polled said they're currently in debt. So you can't be currently in debt and super excited and content with the money you make right now. Those things don't go together. So just to recap, if you're still carrying a lot of debt on your credit card, or you're still deep in car payments, or you have medical debt, life comes up. Trust me, I've been in all of these positions. So I'm not like on my high horse saying like, debt is stupid, debt is awful. And I've been in all of it. So I understand. But you can't on one hand say, I'm pretty happy with the money I'm making right now, but I'm not in any way set to retire and I'm carrying a lot of debt. It doesn't go hand in hand. So It concerns me that 72% of stylists are like, you know what, I feel like I'm doing pretty good, even though I'll never retire and I'm carrying debt. That is such a problem. So hi, Ketmani, Addie, so glad to have you here. So I want you to really kind of take a look at your financial house and just really think about like, what can I do to truly be able to say like, I am living comfortably. I don't have to worry about money. I am going to be okay. And that's not to say that everything has to be perfect. I can't say that I'm financially perfect either, but I have peace of mind in knowing that I'm in a pretty good spot, and it's certainly something I'm thinking about, and it's not a stress. Wouldn't it be great if you didn't have money stress and it was just part of life and not the whole thing? It'd be really, really powerful. So if you're in debt and also feeling good about how much money you make, those two things don't go together. Okay, shocking truth number 7. This was really interesting. This was one that, hi Suzette Love, that I didn't feel shocked about, but I felt it was important to express. 17% of salon owners, so almost 20%, almost 1/5 of salon owners don't know, knowing what they know now, if they would go back in time and open a salon again. 20% of salon owners have regrets about becoming a salon owner. I think in actuality, that number is probably a little bit higher, if I can be honest. If everybody on this survey was being completely honest, I would guess that number would be even a little bit higher. I think there's this misconception, maybe it's not a misconception, but it's an old school way of thinking, that salon owners are like raking in the dough. They're like Scrooge McDuck. They go home and dive into their coin pool at the end of the night, and life is just great and it's easy. Like owning a salon is easy. My favorite is when I get contacted through email by investors, like people who don't know anything about our industry. You guys will love this. And they'll be like, so I understand you coach salons, and I'm thinking about opening one, and I'm not licensed and just wondering what the industry is like. And I'm like, and they really do want to become salon owners because they think it's like quick, easy money. And I'm like, you have no idea what you're doing. You're crazy, because being a salon owner is not quick, easy money at all. It's just such a false idea that that's how it works. It is a lot of hard work. It can be incredibly fulfilling. One of the best things you'll ever do. I know salon owners who have built beautiful teams and have truly built a culture and care about the people who work for them, and they listen to their team and support their team, and they've really figured out how to run a successful salon. I'm sure you guys know of some wildly successful salon owners who do appear to be happy, and I think that is a huge part of our industry, but it's not the full picture. Oh my gosh, Caitlin, I can't even wait. So looking forward to seeing your exciting news. So I just wanted to share with you, particularly if you're a commission stylist or a booth renter, thinking that your salon owner is like screwing you over, or that they live in the good life and they're making it hard for you. Could be true, but oftentimes it's not. I just don't want to like glamorize salon ownership more than it is. It can be such a beautiful, fulfilling thing, but it's not like a slam dunk. Sean says, I hate when people with no industry experience try to open shops and salons. I don't know why people think we're in like the easiest industry ever. It still blows my mind, but I hear about it all the time. Here's some quotes from salon owners who were surveyed. My biggest regret is not hiring a business coach sooner. And that's something too, like, you'll read about this in business books a lot. There's a huge difference between being a technician and a business owner. And just because you are a great stylist doesn't mean you're an incredibly savvy business person when it comes to managing a team of individuals or doing what needs to be done to advance the business forward, right? It is two separate things. Danielle says, I said that. Okay, quote from Danielle. See, Danielle's the living proof. These are real statistics. And I love that you said that, Danielle. I think it's great. Number 2, I know now that as a salon owner, you've got to get rid of the rotten apples as quickly as possible. That's a lesson that I learned the hard way too. Keeping people around for too long because I felt bad about their family situation, or it was like maybe the team liked them, even though I could see that they were a nightmare and making things ugly, but I would keep them around for too long. And those sour, rotten apples just continue to ruin the batch. And if you have somebody on your team who's a rotten apple, you can't keep them around worried about how the team is going to react. Cindy says, that's me. Worried about how the team is going to react, or worried about like, will we be able to financially make it without this terrible, monstrous person? The funny thing happens anytime you let somebody go who's awful, who's a rotten apple, no matter how much your team appeared to like them, even they breathe a sigh of relief and they're like, you know, I loved Amanda, but thank God she doesn't work here anymore. That happened to me every single time, and I'd be so stressed. I'm like, oh, my team's going to hate me. And they'd be like, thank goodness you did that. Oh my gosh, great. Because they all know it's a rotten apple too, so you can't keep around these terrible people who are ruining the culture of your team, holding your business back. Last quote. I should never have hired my friends. It hurts the friendship and the business. And I think that was a really great quote too, because I think we do have this idea of, wouldn't it be great if we worked with all of our friends? And it is great. And I think there's nothing better than having a salon culture where everybody gets along and they're truly a family. Like, that's what I love the most about my salon team too, but it does blur the lines. And if you talk to my team about how I was as the salon manager, I didn't open up personally. They didn't know anything about my personal life. A lot of them wouldn't consider me to be a friend. I was a teammate. I was part of the family, but there did have to be this like disconnect, because when you're trying to like manage your friends, it can be a little bit challenging. And those blurred lines do make it hard. So I thought it was really interesting to hear a salon owner say, I should never have hired my friends. It hurts the friendship and the business. Really interesting. Okay, and shocking truth number 8. 71, I love, this is my favorite one. 71% of stylists admitted that they got into this industry to either make great money, become a salon owner, or a variation of both. That made me so freaking happy, because anytime I come on here and I ask the question like, you guys, why did you get into the industry in the first place? And the feed floods with responses like, I wanted to make women feel beautiful. I love people making people feel more confident. I love having a job where I get to be creative every day. Those are all fringe benefits. Nobody wants to be paid in hugs and kisses and thank yous. We all got into this industry to make great money, or to have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur or a salon owner or a business owner behind the chair. And the hugs and kisses and thank yous are a benefit of that. And the fact that we get to empower men and women and make people feel amazing and build that confidence, those are great fringe benefits. But don't get it twisted. Like, you became a hairstylist because this is your career choice. It wasn't the hobby that you decided to kick around and do on the side. And I think I've talked about this openly. I talked about my last video, and I've talked about before, I think there's a lot of money shame in this industry where you're not supposed to make too much, and you're supposed to kind of be embarrassed if you've been successful, and that the friendship with your clients needs to come first, and that, you know, sometimes you have to discount because your clients need you to. No, we got into this industry to make great money. This is your career. And all of those extra benefits are just that. They're extra benefits. It truly is the best industry on the planet. We are so fortunate and lucky that our job kicks ass and it's fun. All those things are great benefits. But never forget, the reason that you likely got your license is because, yes, you want to have a job that you love, but you dreamed of having a great lifestyle too. Lemie says it is a career. So don't treat your business as a hobby. It is not one. This is your profession, and you are a professional, and you need to respect yourself as such, because until you start respecting yourself as a professional, you can't expect your clients to do the same. So I hope that this has been a helpful little video. Huge announcement coming next week. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I will be here on Sunday for Woo Woo Sunday. So much love. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, loves.